Donald Trump and Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky are currently in talks at the US President's Mar-a-Lago estate in Florida. Talks are centred on a potential end to the war in Ukraine, which the US wants to play a pivotal role in through its 20-point peace plan. The pair spoke to media a short time ago.
Mr. President, do you think Putin is serious about peace this time?
I do. I think he is. I think they both are.
I call him. What was your message to Mr. Putin?
Got to make a deal. Got to get it done. Too many people dying, and I think both presidents want to make a deal. I do believe that. I'm going to brief you on that.
What would his function be? Will he need Putin hands too?
Depends. But I do believe that we have the makings of a deal that's good for Ukraine, good for everybody. It's very important. There's nothing more important, my vote. We settled 8 wars, and this is the most difficult one. I thought it would be in the middle of the pack. This is the most difficult one, but we're going to get it done. We're going to have a great meeting today. And this gentleman has worked very hard, and he's very brave, and his people are very brave. I mean, what they've gone through, no nation, very rarely has a nation ever had it go through this. So we're going to have a very good meeting today, I think, and I'm also calling President Putin back after the meeting, and we'll continue a negotiation. Pretty complex, but not that complex.
Can you meet the New Year's Day deadline?
I don't have deadlines. You know what my deadline is? Getting the war ended. We don't have deadlines. Do you agree with that? Well, it depends what the security agreement says. What a dumb question. Nobody even knows what the security agreement is going to say. But there will be a security agreement. It'll be a strong agreement. And the European nations are very much involved in that. They'll be very much involved in protection, etc. But the European nations have been really great. They're very much in line with this meeting and with getting a deal done. They're terrific people. I think you can say that. There's nobody bad. They all want to get it done, and they've been very supportive, I think.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. Thank you for this meeting. Thank you for your invitation. Yes, really, I agree with the President. Our teams, they do what they can, and I think that during last month they moved forward with negotiations, and the Americans, thank you very much for your team, for Steve and Jared, and they worked very well. I think they worked on different documents, and I hope that all these documents can bring peace as quick as possible. So, and I agree with the President that we're in the European Union, yes, and the President is in contact with them, and maybe we'll today.
What made you want to come in person to meet the President today?
Sorry?
What made you want to come here to Mar-a-Lago to meet the President today? Why?
So, yeah, we talk about our teams. They work on 20-point plan. Then they work on prosperity and security document. And 20-point plan is very important. We have to discuss. And sequencing. Very important. Our teams talked about strategy, how to make step by step and bring this closer, and we will discuss this strategy.
Mr. President, are you willing to make territorial concessions?
We will speak about 20 points plan. There are in 20 points plan, 90% by the way was done by our 2 teams. I think they made a great job, great work, and yes, we will discuss these points also.
And there are great economic benefits for Ukraine also, because there's a lot of rebuilding to do. There's a lot of wealth to be had, and they have great wealth. Potentially, they have great wealth. They want to get started, but there's a great economic benefit for Ukraine in what we're talking about.
President Trump, some are saying that the recent attacks in the past couple of days that Russia's staged against Ukraine shows that President Putin isn't serious about peace. What is your reaction to that?
No, he's very serious. I think, I can say that I believe Ukraine has made some very strong attacks also. And I don't say that negatively. I think you probably have to. I don't say that negatively. But I think, he hasn't told me that, but there have been some explosions in various parts of Russia, and it looks to me like, I don't know, I don't think it came from the Congo. I don't think it came from the United States of America. It possibly came from Ukraine, but I haven't asked that question. Maybe I won't bother asking. No, they're fighting a war, and we'll see what happens. But I believe it's a war that we have two willing parties, we have two willing countries. They want to see it end. Look, the people of Ukraine want it to end, and the people of Russia want it to end, and the two leaders want it to end.
Mr. President, some of the economic benefits for Ukraine, Europe is holding some billions in frozen Russian assets. Do you believe that should go to Ukraine to help rebuild, or go back to Russia?
None of that's been determined, but it'll go. It's going to go very quickly. I think we're in final stages of talking, and we're going to see. Otherwise, it's going to go on for a long time. It'll either end, or it's going to go on for a long time, and millions of additional people are going to be killed. Millions.
So would you say,
and nobody wants that.
Are you still frustrated with this
expecting to get to an agreement today.
What?
Would you say
When you say that you think it will either end or will go on for a long time, and you say you don't have a deadline, so what are you expecting out of today's
I just think we can do. I think we can move very rapidly. I really feel that. We've spoken. I know you had dinner with Steve. Steve Witkoff and Jared have done a fantastic job. And everybody has. Marco's been incredible. The whole group has been, our group has been incredible. And Ukraine appreciates it, and Russia appreciates it. They both want to see it end, and we're going to get it ended. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
We'll see you, I think, at the end, but I do think we'll call Europe also. We're going to speak to the European leaders. Thank you very much.
Trump and Zelensky a short time ago